Councillor Perks to speak.
Thank you, Speaker. In my questions of the city manager and senior staff, I asked about the city's capacity, and not just the city's, but the capacity all three governments have created to house people in the city of Toronto. And it's very obvious that not only in the present moment are we dramatically short, but given all the plans that have been approved so far, we're dramatically short for at least another year and a half. In fact, there's nothing I've seen anywhere that's come from any order of government that shows me the way out. I can't point to a document, a plan, a budget, a line item that says, here is the day when the city of Toronto will end homelessness. I don't see it. And some in this debate have tried to say that, the moment we're in where we can't see the light at the end of that tunnel has something to do with the pandemic. I don't believe that. I don't believe the pandemic created this crisis. I believe the pandemic has made it more urgent and more visible and has added complexity to the issue of inviting people indoors because of all the science around the additional risks in congregate settings. So yes, the pandemic has made things worse, but it is not the genesis of this problem. In the very first election for the amalgamated city, one of the candidates, the eventually successful candidate, Mel Lastman, said there is no homelessness in North York. And within a short period of time, a woman, Linda Houston, died in a North York gas station as a result of being out homeless on a cold night. This problem has been with us for a quarter century. And as the mayor points out when we debate homelessness, we've done a lot in this term of council, and we can't point to a term of council where the problem was solved. It's been present every year since amalgamation and going back further still. I would argue that it's been exacerbated by choices made by the federal government in the mid-90s to remove itself from creating affordable housing, choices made by both the federal and provincial governments to download affordable housing onto municipal governments, choices made more recently by the provincial government of Ontario to neglect its responsibilities in the area of housing, to neglect its responsibilities in the areas of mental health, to neglect its responsibilities in the area of homelessness generally. Yes, they've announced some things, but as city staff told you, what they've failed to announce is a permanent structure to provide the supports so that people who need assistance to maintain a household get that assistance. This is a structural problem. It's a structural problem which many of us on council have tried for years to address. We've tried to signal prior to the pandemic that there was a housing emergency in the city of Toronto. We were unable to persuade a majority of council to join us. We've tried motions to ask this council to support using the emergency powers the federal and provincial government have for expropriation of vacant units and hotels to house people, and we've been unsuccessful. We've passed motions saying that let's make every dollar available to shelter housing and support staff and the affordable housing office staff to provide safe housing and shelter. And we continue to hear that despite those motions being passed, somehow administratively, we are not in a place where we can even point to the day when that goal will be achieved. This is a structural problem that we have to name and we have to shame. We have to say that the provincial government is negligent in this. We have to say, as good as the Rapid Housing Initiative is from the federal government, it's inadequate. And we have to say that we as a council have yet to dedicate the resources that would allow our affordable housing and shelter housing and support staff to house everyone in the city of Toronto. So we have a duty here too that we failed in. I want to devote my final few seconds though to talking about why I can't support Councillor Holliday's motion. I'll just draw a simple analogy. I support eliminating overcrowding in ICU units in hospitals across Ontario. But I don't support doing that by closing ICU units. I support doing that by ending the pandemic. Councillor Cressy's is the reasonable motion here. I asked Councillor Holyday specifically, does your motion mean ending homelessness? And he said no. So I can't support that approach. I don't support a golden day when suddenly the homeless disappear, where we have them, but they're not sleeping out of doors.
5
It's a
seconds.
false choice, and I can't vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you.